What if we could have been there the day George Lucas discovered the Force, or the day Stan Lee's spidey senses started tingling for the first time? We can't turn back time, but right here on YouTube, piece by piece, I'm going to be creating the next massive sci-fi universe, and I need your help to do it. Through Discord, YouTube, YouTube Shorts, and YouTube Live, I want to create the most immersive, active, and interactive community of any of these universes that have come before, especially for those who join me right here at the beginning. Gene Roddenberry didn't have the internet when he invented Star Trek, but I guarantee you the Trekkies all over the world would have killed for the chance to hear him say, "Beam me up," for the first time. Every hero, villain, planet, species, the science, the technology, the magic system, religion, politics, all of it is unveiled here on YouTube. YouTube Live discussions where we work together to work out the kinks on the complicated science and technology involved. And time-lapse inking and coloring and drawing of every single character. One of the most important things in world building is the magic system, like Allomancy for Mistborn or the Force in Star Wars. I believe that Polarity can go toe-to-toe with the big dogs. I won't explain Polarity at this point in the video, but I'm very, very excited about it. This galaxy is not far, far away. In fact, it's right here in the Milky Way. Unknown to us humans, there is a thriving community of planets throughout a large portion of our galaxy. Most of us don't know why, and yes, I will make a video on how this is possible, but we have been visited many times throughout the centuries by alien species. Individual criminals, rogues, refugees have visited our planet over thousands of years and have influenced our folklore, our mythology, our religions. Just like how a traveling merchant from China would go to another country and share their stories and their folklore from their homeland, and then those stories would get adopted and adapted by the people who lived there. The same thing has happened here many, many times. Maybe we were visited by a large refugee covered in fur with giant big feet and a penchant for beef jerky. And perhaps that Yeti told stories of a being who threw lightning bolts from his fingers with godlike power. Of course, I wouldn't think it'd be very exciting to just say, vampires are aliens and they're here to suck our blood. But what if we were visited in the 1700s by an alien who grew up on a planet that had almost no sunlight but really high levels of oxygen? So much oxygen that the only way they could survive on Earth is if they paid peasants to come over and perform weekly blood transfusions for them. Now, I just came up with this, so don't look too deeply at the science right now. Unless, of course, I'm right, then, write that over and over again in the comments. But to us primitive humans back then, blood transfusions would have seemed supernatural. Blood oxygen science would have been heretical. And after that story was told over centuries, over and over again, that vampire could have easily become a pale, blood-sucking monster that only goes out at night and has the magic ability to convince people to let him suck their blood willingly. And bats, for some reason. And that is what I love to do. Take a premise that is outside of our normal, train of thought or our normal reality and really dive deep into what could that really be like. The 2004 Battlestar Galactica reboot did this really, really well. What would life really be like if all of humanity was forced to live on spaceships full time, jumping from place to place while being hunted by robots? They had politics, caste systems, elections, fuel shortages, worker strikes, and of course super sweet dogfights in outer space. But to me, the unique examination of how they lived outweighed the space battles and the robots. I will explain the Advanced Planet Alliance and how windows connect those planets to each other. Not those windows, but those windows. But the long and short of it is that every mythology, every wives' tale or folklore or religion is fair game to be morphed into the next, character or species or event. Never directly copy and pasted, but being inspired by. These folklores could be seen through the lens of that kid's game Telephone, where, one kid will say yellow banana, and then after it travels through to the other kids, all of a sudden it's yell at bandanas, and we all laugh. At the core of this universe, linked to the Advanced Planet Alliance, is an academy. I haven't really figured out the name for it yet. I'm calling it the Milky Way Academy, but I'm not sure I'm loving that. Maybe we could kind of discuss that during a YouTube live or something like that. This academy is mandated by law to accept one student from every planet to learn Polarity from the masters of that magic system. And of course, they will also learn all the technology and the techniques to defend their planet from those criminals and rogues that we talked about earlier. Because of those mandates, it makes it very difficult to expel a student, and that's going to lead to a lot of conflict within the school. The graduates of that academy will become their home planet's guardians, where they will investigate and hold off all those criminals that we talked about earlier until, reinforcements can arrive, either from other planets or from their home government. Those two positions, the guardian and the student, will be the primary pools that I'll initially be pulling stories from. But of course, there's plenty of governments, exploration vessels, armies out there to pull stories from as well. I will release videos on the technology as we go. There is a lot of it. How we communicate, how we will travel long distances, how we will survive on each other's planets, the biotech, the weaponry, the spaceships. There's way too much, of course, to cover it all in this first video, but they're definitely on their way. And powers. Yes, there are abilities and powers in this galaxy. There are two main types. Kinetic are abilities that are genetic in nature. Each alien species has their own powers and advantages over the average human. Just like how a frog can jump or a bird can fly, those abilities have to be inherited. Zenotic abilities are abilities that can be taught, just like swimming or martial arts. As long as you have access to information, someone to train you, and you put forth the effort, anybody would be able to learn it. Polarity, our magic system, is the ability to expand and contract molecules that surround your body. They can go out about 10 feet. I'll explain this a lot more in detail later, but this leads to being able to create walls and ledges and ceilings so that you could pretty much parkour in the air. You could walk on water, you could walk in the air. Armor, an increase in speed and agility, the ability to hit harder when you're striking something. This will lead to some insane acrobatic fighting, especially when you start combining it with the abilities that these alien species already have. Polarity works in bursts of about a half a second or less, so the timing and training to do this properly is crucial. You can't just stand in midair and think about what you're going to do next. Things happen very quickly. The armor you put on yourself will not last long. You've got to know exactly when something's going to hit. I'm extremely excited about this. Now, one of the craziest things about this, there aren't a lot of humans involved initially, but humans do not have really any of those abilities, those kinetic abilities. Technically, everything we do is kinetic, but nothing is considered superhuman. Because of that, we're really looked down upon by the other species. They call us nothings. But by that mandate, we still attend the school, we still become a guardian, even though our government doesn't even know we have a guardian and doesn't even know that we have somebody there training to learn these abilities. We are still there, we're still learning it, but we're going through a true hardship to do so. And there's no secret human ability waiting in the wings to save us despite our efforts. No, we're actually going to just have to live through that human experience, and I think it's going to lead to a lot of great story. Now, I will be rolling out content very quickly in the next few months. I've already created and done time-lapse drawings of 34 characters, and every one of them is from a different alien race. Between YouTube shorts and 10-minute time lapses, I think I'm at about 90 videos. So I'm going to roll these out quickly for you so you'll have content right away. You won't be waiting a week for character number 2, that sort of a thing. And now I'm recording the deep dives into each of those characters, the species, and all of the world building components we've been talking about. I wanted to make sure you don't have to wait long for your fix. I have also begun a compendium or an index of all of this stuff on Google Docs. And this will eventually be transferred to a website, and I'm putting them up there as I go. So, but there will be some characters and some species on there that I haven't even done a video on yet. And then I'll also post links to the videos in there. The only negative to Google Docs is that you're going to click on links and it will open a new tab to go to the next page. So if you want to go back, you got to go back to the tab that you were on previously. And that link will be down in the description, as well as the link to my Discord where we can all kind of chat about this, talk about it, spitball ideas. I I really think that might be one of the coolest parts of this whole thing. Of course, as kind of a disclaimer, don't post anything in there that you don't want to be used either in a video or even used as an idea for these stories, as I'm going to just assume it's fair game and that you just want to be a part of this thing. You're not expecting anything in return. But I will have sections not only for the discussions in the videos, but also for like fan art, and also a tab where you can display your own art. If you are an artist of your own right, I'd like to support you as well. And for those of you who made it to this point in the video, thank you so much. I know it was a lot of information, and you're exactly the type of person that I would like to go on this journey with me. You're obviously interested in this sort of thing. What I would do is hit that bell notification. I'm gonna go live at some point once we kind of have enough people where I think there'll actually be an audience on there when I do so. And I'd love to, talk about this stuff, spitball ideas, go over especially like the finer points of the technology, that sort of a thing, really get feedback on stuff. So if that sounds like fun to you, hit that bell notification. Of course, it'll also tell you when we, release videos and stuff like that. I'm sure you still have a lot of questions. If there's something you think I forgot to go over, please ask in the comments. I'll be happy to answer whatever I can. Of course, there's plenty I don't have answers for yet. This is world building, but if I do have an answer, I'll definitely answer it for you. So if you have a friend that would be interested in this sort of thing, please share this video with them. Well, thank you for staying to the end of the video. That meant the world to me.
Top dog, top flow, boss mode, I'm the kingpin, showstopper, top dog, Godfather, I'm the kingpin.